Hey everybody, it's been a long week and it's only midweek here at the shop. Luckily enough, another full week. All 6 lifts are being used at the moment. I want to do a little roll call of what's going on, some cool projects, some twin turbos and some old Powerglides that are cruising their way through the shop. This Mercedes actually just got picked up today, having issues with some hard shifts. The weird thing is it's not throwing any codes just yet. It's very intermittent. We found out before that the transmission cooler got some radiator fluid into it. I don't know if it busted up. The guy had flushed it out, but who knows if there's still some radiator fluid going through the transmission. So we kind of dropped the pan on this, do some more test drive on it, see what's really going on. The valve bodies on these Mercedes are very well known for getting funky much faster than the unit itself. The units are really well built. So we don't have too many issues of those being fully taken out, but a lot of valve body issues on the majority of Mercedes that come through the shop. Nice car, cool car, clean car, but power-wise, because I'm truly an LS guy, we have a 2015 Camaro with a Hellion twin kit. Looks like the twin 62s on it. Doesn't look like much else was done. I mean, from the outside looking in, who knows if bottom end is forged and built and whatnot. But nice kit. It really fits tuck within this frame and body of the Camaro. It's really cool. I like how it has the front mount on it. This one has the auto trans. The scenario that it came in with is actually getting no communication from the computer, the main engine computer, to the transmission. We had to dig up some wiring on it. It's a little bit tougher with the turbos and the locations that they are, and piping and intercoolers and all this other stuff. So tracing the wires back to at least get some power back to that Tecum, which is the computer inside the transmission. Took a little time frames there. It actually needed a new Tecum, so we put one of those in. With these in the Tecums, they actually need to be programmed. So we have a special programmer that drives around anytime these vehicles or any kind of vehicle needs new programming because of modern computer hardware. He comes on in and programs it to the vehicle. And with this one especially, we got to be very careful. I'm sure it's tuned on the engine side of things, so we don't want to mess with that. Keep it strictly to the transmission, and also let the owner know, hey, we had to change this out. If you had it tuned, go back to your tuner, putt around town for what it is now until you get to that, because it's going to be in its stock form. But if you just want to pan in real quick on the turbos, I know he's got some B-rolls, but we had to take off the filter to get to the fuse box here on this side. Pretty clean all the way through. Like I said, everything fits just right up to the frame, right up to the front here, and even on this side, a little more room in action. Intercoolers up and underneath. So a nice package. Looks, using the precisions definitely helps. It looks like Turbo Smart, they got their own version for Hellion from them on wastegates and blow-off valves. So it's a pretty clean setup, clean car, and we'll get that taken care of probably out here next day or two. Let me roll through to the back with the build and the build inside of the shop here. The 60 Corvette, nice and covered. We don't want anything getting blown onto or anything else with it being in the shop, dust and whatnot. It's a really nice car, really expensive car, so we want to make sure that that's kept away from the elements. And here we go with our cast iron Powerglide that's been fully rebuilt now, just about finishing it up. We'll finish that out probably in the morning, throw it up in the vehicle by the afternoon, and putt around town to make sure everything's doing what it can. These things are heavy, these little cast iron, even though it's just a 2-speed and such, it's got some weight and bulk to it. The aluminum ones are much lighter. Torque converter for it. We actually, I don't know if I have the original one around here. I think we might have had to send it up. The bottom cover was actually bent and it blew out through the gasket, which was really odd. Something odd had to happen to get it to the point to get to our shop and such. Luckily, we have some good contacts in the manufacturing industry that were able to fix that, or I think they might have even found another cover. It's all dependent on what was going on there. So we got this torque converter rebuilt, ready to rock and roll. All the guts and everything else, bearings, seals and whatnot is ready to go on the internals of the Powerglide. Pump had to be reconditioned. So a lot of little things to get it back to conditioned for driving and cruising around and hitting the shows and stuff. This one's almost done, which is cool. It's a really cool car. Again, not only am I an LS freak, I grew up on Corvettes, as I mentioned before. So seeing the C1 in here is really cool. My uncle has a shop up in Connecticut, does a lot of frame work on the C1s and C2s. So these kind of hit closer to home, and it's pretty cool watching them on a daily basis in my shop. You know, started in my uncle's shop, now to my shop. It's just an enjoyable aspect of it. Let me sneak over to one last thing. Follow me here. This Honda Accord came in with the busted trans. So actually no fluid in it too. So a lot going on. So we're changing the clutch out, rebuilding the trans, but as random as it is, one part wasn't available. For most of these Hondas, there's 10 billion of them out there, so it's usually pretty easy to get all the parts. It was the fork. So luckily we have some good contacts in local welders. Had them beef up the original fork here, made it a little bit thicker, a little bit tighter. So now what we're gonna do is, it's a little tight now. Tomorrow we'll kind of shim it down to fit our specs of how loose, you know, the bearing should be on it all the way through. But it's just another one-off project that seems to be, you know, happening almost on a weekly basis, and it's part of the job. And that's why people come to us, because they know, hey, parts are on back order, I can't get this, salvage yards don't have that transmission, whatever the scenario is. Or if you get it from the salvage yard, you don't even know if that part is good on the one that you're bringing in. So what we can do is get everything else ordered, see if we have availability to get it from the dealerships or, you know, local shops and warehouses, or work with what you got. You know, find a good welder, have them beef up the parts that are a little bit, you know, worn or busted, to get them back to just standard operating setup there. So pretty cool. It's good to have a good welder. Very, very key. Luckily we have one that's pretty quick too, quick turnaround time next day. And that keeps the key flowing of my efficiency in the shop. Not only is it key to have the parts and get them here, pop them in, put the transmission in, put the clutch in, get the car out, because now this car has been on this lift for almost 5 days, which means I've had to hold up other cars outside because this lift is taken. And it's a streamroll process. If that happens on 2 or 3 of the lifts, now we can only do new jobs on the other 3 lifts. So it's a workflow scenario, and you got to keep an eye on that too. We knew the 60 Corvette was going to be here for a little bit because parts are harder to get on it. So that's why this one gets all the way to the front. This is that one lift. You saw the 55 Chevy there before. We'll leave it there as these cool old projects. And we know they take some time to get to them, so we leave those there. But then everything else, as you can see, if he's just following me through with a quick walkthrough, this one we were waiting on parts. So they've been, you know, about 4 to 5 days between them. This just went up this afternoon after an MDX went down. So get it up, get it out, get it rebuilt, get it back in. So hoping by, you know, the end of the week we'll have that one rocking and rolling. This one's got to be pulled over here, and then same thing, you know, we got to do some more digging and diagnosis with both the Camaro and the Mercedes. So, you know, most people think transmission shops, oh, you just get a transmission, pull it out, rebuild it, put it in. A lot more behind the scenes with parts delays, finding parts, finding problems that are bigger than just a part that needs to be machined or fabricated. And then also having the time frame to manage everything in the shop, because not only do we have, you know, everything in here either up on our lift or in a spot to be diagnosed, front parking lot, rear parking lot, we got cars everywhere, and they're all on different tiers. You know, sometimes it's a wholesale account, sometimes it's a retail account, and you got to manage, you know, who, what, where, when, and why throughout the process. But that's my everyday life now, and it's fun, it's enjoyable, it keeps me active, it keeps me thinking about the best solutions, and it truly is about efficiency and get these things out, not only with a full quality build like we do on every single transmission, but also in a timely manner that's helping either, you know, the people getting the car back, the shop getting the car back, to get back on the road and drive the car like they're supposed to. So here's a little recap here, but thanks for watching. Keep it going. Later.